The following SpongePod is brought to you by Jellyfish Fields. Now, Tim, we have to get into a serious topic here, just to start off the SpongePod. With the recent net reform laws coming down the pike, we must get out the message to go to Jellyfish Fields before they make nets illegal.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really important issue for a lot of jellyfish to know about.
Yes, we must be politically active in our time. You know, we have an administration that just doesn't like the nets, whatever it may be. I'm not trying to pick sides. I'm not trying to say that, you know, the right is good or the left is good. It's not about that. I'm just saying that we are coming up on a time when nets will be illegal, and you know, it's a big deal. It's really going to be difficult. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do, you know.
You know, the jellyfish have shown themselves to be a very massive voting bloc, right? There's like so many of them. And if even 10% of them vote to keep nets legal, I think we can make this happen.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if your phone keeps going off in the middle of recording. Did it go off, or did I just hear that?
Oh, I didn't hear my phone. My phone went off?
Oh, maybe. Anyway, these 50 miles of pure glory is pure nature of the heart of Bikini Bottom. Make sure to check out Jellyfish Fields to find a place where we have a structured area for jellyfish to live a natural life within the vicinity of us, so we could choose to hunt them for recreational purposes. I don't know what you think about this law. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I had a really nice picnic lunch with myself in Jellyfish Fields.
This sounds like every day of your life. Like every night is Tim just having a picnic out in the backyard, and his mom and dad are just sitting there like, well, why doesn't he just come in?
What is that weirdo doing? I think they say very often.
You have this like plaid blanket that you lay out in your backyard. You're like, all right,
very fastidious about
meal
it.
For one. Meal for one.
I say that out loud as I'm eating.
Yeah, you're like neurotic. Anyway, check out Jellyfish Fields for all your jellyfish and Bambi needs.
Oh!
And welcome to the SpongePod, the official. This is the day. Welcome to the SpongePod, the unofficial podcast of SpongeBob SquarePants, where we overanalyze every single episode and get down to the bikini bottom of your fan theories. I'm your host and in-house reader / SpongeBob expert, Eric. Are you ready, Tim?
Aye, Captain.
Aye, Captain. Yes. So this episode will be extra weird. We are not going to cut this at all. I just want to reiterate, we are not reiterate. I've never iterated this. We are recording this the day of the SpongePod's drop. I mean, this is historic? Normally we are like 6 weeks before or so. Just to catch you guys up. Life has caught up with me fast. Real quick, let me finish out this joke. I can't hear you.
Aye, Captain.
Yes, I jumped right in. Normally we would cut this because I jacked all of it up. We don't have the time to cut it. We don't. We have to get going. We have to roll. You're going to hear a really raw SpongePod, but it's also kind of thrilling. You know, I know some of you have waited this morning and you thought, man, where is the SpongePod? Let me tell you, life has hit us both very fast. We have had meetings left and right. I'm in the process of moving. So if anyone knows people who like to move boxes, let me know. It'll be sometime in April that I think we're going to be moving. But, you know, life is caught up pretty fast, and we've got a lot of stuff going on, don't we, Tim?
Yeah, a lot of, you know, we really try to make time for the SpongePod, but sometimes it falls through the cracks.
We do. Especially when, you know, the bikini bottom businesses pay us so little, it's just very difficult to like prioritize it over the rest of our life. But yeah, I mean, how thrilling is it that we're recording today live? I'm looking at the New York Times. It says the outrage over Kevin Williamson. I don't know who that is. When bail feels less like freedom, more like extortion. Let me go over to the Washington Post. It says, you know, Trump accuses Amazon of it just stopped loading. Trump accuses Amazon of post office scam. Wow. If I go over to Fox News, it says Trump mocks California governor for pardoning ex-con. I'm not going to make this a political podcast, but this is just proof that we are recording this today. It is today. Today is today. I hope you guys are having a good today. How does it feel that your voice is going to be exported in like hopefully an hour before we go see a movie, the movie Isle of Dogs at the cinema, at the art cinema at Keystone?
Yeah, it brings me back to my live radio days in college.
Yeah, where it went straight out. It didn't have to be edited. Also, Tim, reminder, you cannot cough this episode. Okay. We're just going straight. I'm just joking. Yeah, just try to breathe away. No, but yeah, there's a whole lot of events we're going to go to today. I'm hoping to go to this antique mall or antique flea market. Looks pretty fun. Also, the Long Shot Theater is doing this movie. I'm just trying to prove to you that this is a live episode. Not live, it's a podcast. We recorded it. But today is today, and I'm really excited about today. The Oil Wick Vintage Flea Market. If you want to see Tim and myself over there at some point. This week is the Indie Prov Student Showcase on April 2nd. That's Monday. That'll be fun. I'm definitely going to be going to that. Anyway, go check out all of these events in Indianapolis. Let's get into the episode. This was a great episode. Today we were talking about Jellyfish Jam. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. We never post there anymore. We've been so busy. Check out YouTube as well. The YouTube will be dropping maybe tomorrow. I hope to get it up tomorrow. And shoot us an email at thespongepod@gmail.com. Tim, go get yourself a Kleenex while I read this first act. SpongeBob camouflage from head to toe is fishing in jellyfish fields when he finally catches one of the wild jellyfish and milks it for its sweet, sweet jelly. SpongeBob drops his glasses and his previously milked jelly fish grabs it for him. As SpongeBob tries to make his way home, the jellyfish continues to follow him, wanting to hang out with our hero. After several instances where SpongeBob attempts to make the jellyfish stay still, the resilient fish remains with SpongeBob until our hero finally breaks and agrees to take the wild jellyfish home with him. After Squidward judges SpongeBob for trying to have a wild animal as a pet, the two go to SpongeBob's house and turn on that EDM music, and that jellyfish shows SpongeBob how the wild jellyfish boogie. This is a very weird episode. I just want to say that right off the bat. Easily the weirdest episode we've ever talked about on SpongePod. But yeah, I mean, like, there's all kinds of stuff to start off here. I mean, how wild do you think a wild jellyfish truly is? Like, it looks like they're pretty coherent. I mean, I don't know what you think.
Mm-hmm. They look like they tend to be pretty straight-laced, obviously very organized, as we see later in the episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how wild they really are.
Yeah, it's very, they seem to know, because like right off the bat, it's very difficult to train an animal. I mean, obviously I have two pugs, shout out to Biscuit and Bentley. I have two pugs, and I have to attest, it is very difficult to train an animal. But obviously, SpongeBob kind of gets this down pretty quickly. I mean, like in the midst of talking to Squidward, he already knows like 3 tricks. Like, this is an intelligent being, it's definitely not some pushover animal. I don't know. I mean, I've never been able, even the dog whisperer, even he doesn't have a way of training animals like this. Tim, did you find any theories on this?
So there is this one from Kroger 1080p on Walmart.com. Says, this is the writers of SpongeBob taking a dig at the jelly company that is Smucker's, as they do not use actual jellyfish in the production of their jelly. Word had it that SpongeBob creator Eric Weiss had a long-time beef with the company after they wouldn't hire a younger him for their marketing team. He then went on to make SpongeBob so anti-fake news jelly that Smucker's saw a drop in business.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a pretty heavy kind of behind the scenes sort of theory.
Accusation as well,
Yeah.
Like a little little controversy we're covering here.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really know much about the world of natural jelly. I am just a SpongeBob expert. I'm not an expert on jelly, but I also would say I definitely did not think that this is where jelly comes from. This is like a wild revelation for me personally to watch this episode and see the factual account of how jelly is made by simply milking jellyfish. That has to be a very touchy business. I mean, you have to be just really, not sensitive to pain, and there has to be, I don't know. What do you think about that theory?
I mean, I'm kind of surprised that jelly doesn't cost more with all the effort it takes to to milk those jellyfish.
I'm even surprised, like, how expensive strawberries are. I'm even surprised it doesn't cost more, like, knowing that this isn't the way that jelly's made. You know what I mean? Because strawberries, like, you go get yourself a box of strawberries, it's like $5,
right? Yeah,
and maybe it's just a seasonal thing. But anyway, pushing on to the second act, after SpongeBob and that jelly boogie the whole night away, SpongeBob decides to call it a night and turns off his music to hit the hay. The rebellious jellyfish then turns the system back on as he is not finished shaking his tentacles. SpongeBob finally decides to put its leash on, and he ties it to his bedpost. While SpongeBob sleeps, an entire bloom of jellyfish come to their jellyfish buddy's side, and they occupy SpongeBob's house. They had spent the entire night cutting a rug in SpongeBob's living room, splattering jelly all over the walls and making a mess of our hero's house. After using SpongeBob as a disco ball, our hero is in a real dilemma as he surely has lost control of the house to this wild bloom of jellyfish. The real key here is that I want you to know that I looked up what is a group of jellyfish, and I found that it is called a bloom of jellyfish. I didn't know if you knew that. That is the highlight of that read. I don't know if
I did not what know you that. Think.
Yeah. But anyway, the weird thing about this is the anatomy of a jellyfish is just very strange here. I mean, like, do jellyfish have ears? Like, how are they dancing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe they just have like a natural, they can feel the vibrations. They've got like a natural rhythm to them.
Maybe, I don't know. It's just that thing is dancing, like it could be on the stage with like Lady Gaga or like Pink, you know what I mean? Or Britney Spears or Janet Jackson, let's try to date our references. No.
Yeah, as much as possible.
Yeah. No, it seems like they are very in sync. It's definitely, they're dancing to in sync, in fact. Anyway. What also, I mean, like, this has to be a very strange situation. Like, why do jellyfish buzz? You know what I mean? Like that obviously they're making, the kind of reference back to bees, which is what I think they're overall, kind of referencing here. But I mean, like, it's just very strange that the jellyfish in general buzz. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, again, you've kind of exhausted the end of my science knowledge. I'm kind of at the end. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, that's weird because you were a science teacher. So,
that's true.
That's the thing. I wanted you to come on and talk about some science stuff. I guess we got to get Kimmy. Every episode that we do, we almost reference Kimmy Hoke. Every single episode, just because the science is always in question. You know what I mean? Like, at no point are we like scientifically really know what's going on. Timmy, what did you find in this episode?
So I got another fan theory, conspiracy theory for you. This one is from Straw Harry 2093 on Reddit. He or she says, "This is the world of SpongeBob again defying physics. Obviously they believe that jelly is sound repellent, and obviously it is not. Obviously the writers of SpongeBob didn't take their obvious science class that would have given them the obvious knowledge to not look like a complete idiot." Wow. Pretty harsh words from Straw Harry 2093 there.
Yeah. So you definitely can tell they have a favorite word there.
Obviously. Yeah.
Obviously they have a favorite word. Yes. Yes. I don't know. I mean, it's very, here's the thing. Cartoons give us the ability to defy physics. That's kind of the beauty of a cartoon. You're able to kind of, not necessarily look at a logical, structured universe and make assumptions on that. You can kind of jump outside of that realm. That's kind of the beauty of animation, but it's also kind of the cool thing about, shows like this. It's, the target demo here is kids, right? Kids don't necessarily know that jelly comes from a jellyfish. They kind of make this assumption, and it leads to a funny joke at the dinner table. When they're spreading jam on their toast, the kid says, "Mom and Dad, did you know that jam comes from a jellyfish?" And the parents slap their knee and have an existential debate whether or not they should continue to pay for their cable bill. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, animated shows obviously have their place in society. It's not necessarily all about, fact checking on that regard, if that makes sense. So I think this kind of works. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's like, there is a part of our show is like analyzing if things are right or not. Like right in
definitely
in air quotes or not, but I think this is like too far. Like, who cares? Definitely. If it does not sound repellent.
Yeah, definitely. And with that being said, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Weenie Huts Juniors.
Is life real?
Weenie.
Is anyone listening?
Huts.
Do dogs go to heaven?
Juniors. Make sure to check out Weenie Huts Juniors
for all your weenie hutting needs.
I'm just going to mute your mic during that. And welcome back to the SpongePod. Easily the most rough episode of the SpongePod we have, but we hope you like it. We really do. If you don't like it, let us know. We've literally heard no feedback from the 14 episodes that we've gotten. We've heard nothing. I know that 49 of you are listening, and I think that one of you is in Asia. That's all I know about our listeners. That is part of the break that we're going to take. We're just going to try to figure out what we need to do to multiply you. I don't know if that means that we need to clone some of you, or if Tim and I need to buy more cell phones. Maybe we just need to goose the numbers a little bit more and try to get more followers. But either way, I hope you enjoy the SpongePod. And if you don't, please let us know, because we are willing to bend and break. If you want us to just stop reviewing the SpongePod, maybe we'll just get into Monk or Psych or whatever you want us to review. Please let me be needed to you. I just want to feel the need of a person wanting to hear my thoughts, and that's why we made the SpongePod. Anyway, to get into the third act, Squidward finally blows his lid and calls over to SpongePod, only to be gelled through his phone. Squidward then decides to one-up our hero by playing his clarinet extra poorly, which causes the jellyfish to go insane. They start attacking SpongeBob, stinging him left and right, to our hero's request that SpongeBob, asks Squidward to play the clarinet better. This only makes Squidward more upset, and he uses the subwoofers to channel in more high-volume bad clarinet playing into SpongeBob's house, causing an all-out assault on Squidward. The jellyfish break the clarinet and burn it and continue in their dancing. SpongeBob finally breaks his sound system, and the jellyfish again begin to attack. The jellyfish begin to swarm over SpongeBob when Gary uses his eyes to create a metronomic type beat to which the jellyfish are relaxed. SpongeBob uses Gary's ability and parades all over town, making a new catchy dance song in the process. The dolphins and the coral all around join in singing and dancing in the deep blue sea. This third act has to clarify, fully, legitimize the claim that this is the weirdest episode of SpongeBob ever. I mean, literally, like I guess I was in the second act thinking like, how are they going to get their way out of this? You know, like they're in a weird scenario where SpongeBob is being overpowered by jellyfish, you know, and he is Gary. You know, obviously, how are they going to do this? And Gary uses his eyes to make a beat, and that beat then calms the sea. And I'm just like, they can do anything. They could, I mean, at some point, Doctor Strange can just walk in and change the time of it. You know what I mean? And Deadpool can walk in, grabbing his crotch and saying, you know, oh, well, this is a dumb show, right? You know, and like at some point, I don't know. If it's clear to you that I could use a little bit of a break, this is why we're taking a break, right? I'm sort of breaking over here because this is a funny show. This is a great show, but trying to make logical analysis of just the wildest, weirdest stuff is it's you know, mind numbing. It's crazy. I don't know what you thought. I don't know what you thought, Tim.
I don't know why, but one of my favorite shots of this entire thing is there's that scene where like so the two jellyfish break the clarinet. And SpongeBob goes, "Hey, that's not very nice." And then it pans over, and the clarinet is already on fire, and they're like dancing around it in a circle. Yeah,
it is like the weirdest scenes of like a weird Wes Anderson movie. You know, it's not Wes Anderson really. It's like a weird filmmaker. It just came in, made an episode, and it was too expensive for them to like reverse that episode, that they were like, I don't know, kids will enjoy it, whatever.
Let's just keep it.
Yeah, it is the weirdest. This is the weirdest episode. It has to be. But I will say this, I love the narrator tag here. The narrator tag, basically the narrator comes in, and let me do my great narrator impersonation. It says, wild animals can throw really wild parties. And I thought that was I think that's a great tag. I mean, it's like
it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's a very simple idea. It's a very simple idea, but I think it's very profound, you know, in different ways. But anyway, that is it for our SpongeBob episode of reviewing Jellyfish Jam. Today for our segment, we're going to do 1-star SpongeBob reviews. My first mate Timmy has compiled a few reviews from Amazon, correct?
Yes, from Amazon.
Okay. From Amazon that are SpongeBob related, and we will try to figure out whether or not these reviews carry any weight. So Tim, what's our first one that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, so this is from a user named Sue L. Oh, who bought it on DVD in 2003. Oh my gosh, 2003? Sorry, wow. I didn't read that beforehand.
They are a completely different person now, and we're talking about them on this podcast, and it's so funny because they probably were like 25 when they did this, and now they're like 40, and you know what I mean? Like that's how math works. When it's 2003 and now it's 2018, you know, and you're 25, you turn 40. I did that very fast. Anyway, go ahead with your review.
That's so funny. Sorry, I was reading. So there's people leave reviews, and then there are comments on the reviews, which is really confusing.
Let's just go with the review first.
Yeah, sorry.
We're talking to the nation here.
Apologies. So this review is from December 24th, 2003 by Sue L. The title is "Oh Tartar Sauce." Now, I think this is actually a very legitimate and interesting criticism. Let me hear what you think. This is all on the season 1 negative reviews, by the way. So it says, "Where is Help Wanted? How can this be the complete first season without this episode? The SpongeBob fan in our house is really disappointed."
Huh.
So I think apparently, I don't know if it's on the DVD or if it's digitally, but it apparently maybe on Amazon, Help Wanted is not on there. What do you think about that?
Wow, that is... See, and we've talked a lot about how Help Wanted is a pivotal episode in you know, SpongeBob's history, because that was our first SpongePod, but it was also like a real weird timeline gap where SpongeBob is like applying to the Krusty Krab,
right?
You know what I mean? And like Squidward takes an immediately like vengeful kind of stance. Mr. Krabs is like, okay, he's like complicit with it. I don't know. It was a very weird episode. I could see them kind of in the back of their head thinking, well, Hump One, it doesn't really fit with the rest of the SpongeBob's. You know what I mean? Also, it looked very cheap. I don't know if you remember that, but the rest of these episodes look really different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. It does definitely have.
So maybe that was like the pitch episode. Maybe they said, well, this is like that, which also would be another weird pitch episode because it was like it kind of presents this like singular experience. Like this would be like SpongeBob would be the Cheers of like animated. You know what I mean? Like it's just all going to exist in this restaurant. Like there's really no Bikini Bottom in Help Wanted. So I could see a few arguments as to why they might not add it. But it is weird that it didn't come. You know, it's like season 1 is season 1. That wasn't like season 0. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, what's your next one? Go ahead.
So this is, I was going to say it apparently it's on like the special features of the season 3 DVD.
That's even weirder. But that was almost like they released the DVDs and then they thought, oh shoot, we forgot to do this one. Just tag it on to the season 3 one because we've already done season 1.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, but here's another one that I really like. This is the title of this is 1 star. It's by user less humane on February 4th, 2017. So a recent one, a very recent one.
Yeah.
They wrote too many unbelievable underwater scenes.
Yeah.
So that's the review.
Well, there's Captain Obvious, right? I mean, that's obviously like, yeah, okay. You know, is that the whole review?
Oh yeah.
Man, that like, what did they think they were gonna get when they ordered SpongeBob SquarePants on DVD?
Right, exactly.
Other than a lot of goofy, wacky things on underwater, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder if they thought it was like a Nat Geo documentary, like about a weird species of sponge that wears, you know, suit and tie shirt and tie every day, and
they're
suspenders.
Like, we're gonna learn about this SpongeBob.
Yeah, this is an evolved form of SpongeBob. Whenever like the world is overtaken by dysphoria and not dysphoria. What am I talking about? Like when we get when obviously close. What.
Dysphoria was close, I think.
Yeah, whenever like, anarchy, goes full rampant and we cannot live on this earth, maybe the sponges are the next habit Earth.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, this is like a preemptive.
Yeah, so maybe that guy was like thinking he was going to watch some Nat Geo something, and it turns out he was watching this goofy sponge dance with a bunch of jellyfish. I guess I would be pretty mad, if you thought that you were getting that, and then you get this episode of like maybe the start of EDM, like
right.
Who knows? Modest Mouse might be watching this episode and think like, man, I could do that. Anyway, do you have any others? Let's do one more, maybe.
I have one more. I like this one a lot because it's interesting. So this is the name is just Amazon Customer. The title of the review is Hidden Adult Humor on May 31st, 2016.
This one, go ahead.
May 31st, 2016.
Okay. This one has a little bit more merit to it because there are jokes in SpongeBob that are like, but then again, I don't remember asking these questions when I was a kid. I don't remember like going to mom and like wondering what they were talking about. I remember just thinking it was like one of those things where it's like you don't understand the joke, but you're like laughing just to fit in,
Yeah,
and you can like look at your sister and be like, I understand that joke, and you really don't.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the first time I had that experience was like on Shrek, I think.
On the movie Shrek.
Shrek.
Oh, Shrek.
Sorry, Shrek. Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm laughing,
there
but
were
I don't know
quite
why.
a few references in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is. Let me read this out because I like the hyperbole here. I found the type of humor SpongeBob represents revolting. SpongeBob is supposed to be a kids show. The hidden adult humor kids will pick up on. Oh, that's not a sentence. Not screening the shows your kids watch is part of the reason for today's youth problems.
Man, grammar too.
I know.
You're like, if you can't speak a single, sentence of English without any sort of, it's almost like he like typed it too fast. I feel bad for him because it was probably his fingers' fault. Really, his fingers like kind of just produced these words, and he just thought, yeah, that makes sense. Somebody will get that.
It is anonymous. I do think it's funny when we like heap like all of the youth, whatever that means, whatever youth problems means.
Anybody.
Yeah. On one.
Anybody like under the age of 15's problems is because of SpongeBob. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also,
so
like, you could probably identify that this person is living in Indianapolis. Like, that's exactly how
definitely.
Indiana people talk. Anyway, today, this was the SpongePod. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We're going to immediately post this. Hopefully, I'll have it up by noon. Who knows? Today's this was a decent episode. I'll say it was a decent episode.
I love doing these episodes with you. So any episode is good.
Yeah. We've kind of taken a few weeks off to try to get stuff in order. Now we got to take a few more weeks off just because life is coming at us fast. Hopefully next episode's a little bit more polished, and then we're going to take a little bit of a break. Anyway, our data research today was by Joel Zimmerman. Our associate producer, Stephen Aoki. Creative producer is Nick Van de Wall. Our child care producer is Christina Crosley. Office assistant is Zach Cooper. Our audio engineer is Jessica Brummett. Music by DJ Eugene. Our music and cover art are by the man, the myth, the milky Michael G. Make sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook. Again, we never post on there. Also, look at our YouTube. Just look at it. If you could shoot us some questions on email, it's at thespongepod@gmail.com. This was an interesting episode. I hope people enjoy it. I hope we get our first comment ever. That'd be great. Maybe from this episode. I hope we that's the thing. There's a lot of like vengeance in this episode. We're like, why don't you just respond to us? You know, like maybe the break will kind of release some of that. Anyway. But anyway, Toto, we're home, and this is my room. You're all here, and I'm not gonna leave here ever again because I love you all. And Auntie M, there's no place like home. Watching SpongePod.
Come on, SpongePod.
That's a good one. Kind of a long
it was
walk,
a long one. It was a long one. It felt like a non sequitur because I just went in and read this big paragraph. Anyway, let's go see Isle of Dogs later.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah, then we'll go to an antique fair. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good Saturday. It looks like a good day outside, so let's go enjoy the day.